guys, know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike, now I gotta roll with ice. Ride or die, 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 ride or die. Cody's brothers, my guys, know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike, now I gotta ride or die.
Hello and welcome to the official charge stream for the 4 hours of Mugello. We're going to be wrapping up free practice here. I'm Camo JG. I'll be with you for all 4 hours, and in the booth today, or at least for the first couple of hours, I've got Naughty Dragon.
Good evening.
And we're going to be taking you through qualifying, and Naughty will be with me for the first stint. The qualifying format, we're going to have a little under half of qualifying is going to be for just the GT3 drivers to go out, set their times, they'll come in, there'll be a little bit of a break, and then the Lmp2s will go out. But in the meantime, we'll be keeping you posted on lap times, and we'll go through the field with the liveries so you can get a look at everything, even if you don't have a spotter's guide. But I think this is the first enduro for the year for Charged. I'm excited to watch, and I know a lot of these guys have been practicing for a long time. These liveries are fantastic, and everyone's been trying to get every 10th of a second they can out of the track and out of their cars. So, Naughty, what do you think? How do you think this is one's going to play out in terms of multi-class racing? Because I don't think these guys have done it for a while. So navigating the GT field with the LMP2s, I think it's going to be probably like the biggest point of action during the entire race.
Yeah, as you said, I think LMP2, who's going to win, is probably going to come down to who can manage the traffic the best rather than overall lap time, because keeping a consistent lap time is faster overall rather than being stuck behind traffic for a few laps and losing lots of seconds.
And right now we've got the GT3s going out on track. We've got the Mercedes AMG GT3, the newer model, the facelifted one, if you will. We've got the classic Porsche 911. I mean, when have they not been in GT racing? Plus, I think it sounds really good. And my personal favorite, the Mclaren 720S. All of these have been brought to you by Renrup76. He's done a lot of work on the modeling and been working very, very hard on the balance of performance. So we should see a very tight competition between all three models. And yeah, we're just going to let everyone do their outlaps first. Naughty, do you have a favorite for this in the GT field?
Oh, I think it would be nice to see Lynx racing up there, as well as maybe Birmingham Crew, but we shall see, as the field is very tight.
Yeah, the competition here in Charge, and especially for these races, is going to be very tight, and it makes for great racing to watch. The rules for drivers for the GT3 field, they are allowed to have one unlicensed driver and one licensed driver at least, and the LMP2s are only driven by licensed drivers. So there could be a little bit of a mix-up when it comes to licensed versus unlicensed fighting each other in GT3, and really it's just team coordination that I think is going to be one of the biggest factors, in addition to managing traffic throughout the entire race. Mugello is a very fast circuit, and there are some very downforce heavy sections, so passes are going to need to be very deliberate, and the LMPs are going to need to put a lot of their focus into slicing their way past the GTs without causing any trouble. But yeah, we've got an hour left in qualifying, so there's plenty of time for everyone to set their laps. Right now we're watching the Mercedes with Mike Hawk Racing, number 69, of course. That's a great name. But right now they're on their flying lap. Let me check who is on that team. That one is driven by Flat Earth Mom, we call him James, and RAF, yeah, we'll just call him RAF 104. That livery, I'd almost think is inspired by the Jaguar F1 livery, but he's got the purple sector right now in Sector 1. I think he is the first GT out on track. But these models were taken from Assetto Corsa Competizione, and in a minute we'll be able to take you through all of them in detail with all the liveries. But yeah, we're just going to let qualifying play out as it is. The camera system brought to us by Ramos. He spent, I'm going to assume, an inordinate amount of time figuring out the auto cam system, so we can just sit back, relax, and enjoy the racing, and he'll cover with all the camera angles following the battles. Mikhail in chat, how can we see the teams with the drivers? Unfortunately, because Assetto Corsa wasn't really built for long distance enduros and driver swaps, the cars are only going to have the name of the team above them and on the timing board for the entire race. But we do have a spotter's guide that I'm sure someone can link you in chat. Ren's probably have it. Probably has it. I have it. But if you use the spotter's guide, you could at least guess between one of the two drivers that's in. But overall, Mercedes is going to stop on track. He's put in a 149, but Lynx Racing gets a 149.197 in the McLaren. We go on board with Arbaz Motorsport, also in the McLaren, just starting a lap. They put in a 153 or 4.3 off the pace. And Carico Racing, he's +2 in the second sector. Not sure how that one's going to go, but he's about 29.3 off the pace. It's not a terrible thing. Birmingham Boys puts in a 150.6. So I think the pace is going to be set around the low 149s. We might be able to dip into the mid 148s as everyone gets up to speed further into qualifying. It's a long qualifying, but keep in mind the GTs don't get to take advantage of all of it. They only get half of it, and the LMPs will go out again and see if they can put in a fast time. Not if you have a favorite between the McLaren, the AMG, and the Porsche.
I don't like to be biased, but that Porsche I do enjoy driving it. It's a very well-balanced car and requires a lot of finesse to drive, whereas the McLaren and Mercedes, I would say, are more bulletproof cars to drive, and I prefer more finesse when driving, so I had to choose the Porsche.
Yeah, I definitely think the Porsche sounds the best out of these three, but if these things handle anything like they do in ACC, I'm a big fan of the 720S. I like the way that it just really sticks when you need it to, and you can just plant your foot early in the corner, but the Porsche is something special. That rear engine feeling with the flat six, there isn't anything else like it on the track for a reason. But these Oreca Lmp2s, these are not a mod that you can just go out and get. As a matter of fact, neither the GT3s, but these Orecas were built from scratch by members of Charge, mainly Zeif, who's done a lot of the 3D modeling on it, and he's done an absolutely fantastic job. And these things just look top quality, and of course the liveries aren't hurting that at all. These guys spend a lot of time on these liveries, especially for the long races. But Zeif and Chat, there is a minimum of one driver swap. He's right, he's the admin, so listen to him if he says something in chat. But yeah, you have to have a minimum of one driver swap, and the way that works in Assetto Corsa, we have a system in place where a driver will pit, or not, they won't pit, they'll drive to the end of the pit lane into a certain box and disconnect, and then the other driver on their team will connect to the server. They'll automatically be put in a fresh car in that spot, and the first driver swap has a minimum time of 200 seconds. Correct me if I'm wrong, Zeif. But the first driver swap has to take 200 seconds to complete, and then after that, they're unrestricted. So figuring out who's going to go in first is kind of a gamble. If you put your fast driver in first, they could take advantage of the field being bunched up to make up positions. But there's always that chance that they get a little too aggressive and turn one strikes, and especially in an endurance race, even though this isn't a long one by enduro standards, you can't win in turn one. You have to be careful, and even though the competition here is generally very clean, anything can happen. Somebody's wheel could disconnect, someone could just lock up for a little too much, and that can just cause chaos, especially with this many cars on track. We have 30 some cars on track, and they're all going to be going 100% in turn one. Got to take advantage of the packed field, but you also don't want to push too hard. You got to find the balance. That's going to be another big thing this race. But yeah, I'm excited to be able to call this for you. The track skin is incredible. This ACC style, what's it called? Interface for the stream is just great. ACC really did it right, and we can bring that over to Assetto Corsa. But we're gonna watch Lost in Pace now, having a pretty good S1 and S2. He's gonna cross the line, trying to improve from 13th. He goes all the way to P4 with a 49.981. So more and more guys cutting into the 49s. The pole time right now is still a 149.197. But we have the top four separated by 3/4 of a second. So great competition up top. Sim2 puts in a 151.2. New PB for them. The 68 Porsche. The number 86 Red Suns. Had a good Sector 2. Not a great Sector 1, but they're going to cross the line, try to improve from 13th. And they go P7 with a 50.4. Good lap there. Solidly mid-table. An AMG. That livery is just sublime on that AMG. But this is number 75. Coming across the line. I think this is their outlap, considering it's in the 340s. But let's see this livery a little closer. This one is piloted by Redshift and Fox. Can't tell if this is a replica livery, but regardless, the red and white just looks great. They're going to head off track into the gravel trap. Don't think that was a mistake. Just going to reset to the pits, get new tires. They're going to head out. Number 75 with the Pro-Am. Going to have the Brembo sponsorship, the Firefox sponsorship. And now we go to Brum Brum Racing Team and the number 11 Mclaren. You can clearly tell they're Brum Brum Racing because they've got it on the side. We've got the Charge logo in the hood scoop, and it would appear to have a little bit of damage up front. Interesting. But we got the Juki Mods Pirelli, of course. But overall, very minimalistic livery almost, but very good looking. I do like the simplicity of just a nice clean livery, not too much, junk everywhere. It's just right to the point, great style. And this is one of my favorite liveries on the grid, if I have to admit, the Speedo Racing Porsche. This one is driven by Mitchell and Yellow 13. This is just a great take on that classic BMW M1 Pro Car livery with the red and the white, but this one's got some black in it, and the swirls, or the concentric circles, number 37, just really well done. I think Ren did this one, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, Yellow 13 and Mitchell both hailing from the Netherlands. And you can listen to that flat six sing heading through the end of Sector 2, or the middle of Sector 3, rather. They're on a pretty good lap. Right now they're 16th for the GT field. And they'll be rounding the last couple of corners as the Birmingham boys put in a 150.384. Head over to Lynx Racing in their McLaren. I really like the orange kind of fade into the black. And, 39. Yeah, 39. The black wheels just complete the look for this. It's kind of simplistic in the front, but that complex cheetah print in the back really blends well. It almost gives me a McLaren Senna GTR kind of vibe, with the kind of like the overall paint scheme and the colors. This one is driven by Elmo and Kehan. I'm not sure which one's in the car right now, but they're doing pretty well P3, about 0.8 off of the lead. And Elmo hailing from Poland, if I get my flags right, and Kehan from the United States. Here's Arbaz Motorsport again with a 720 with the yellow and black. This is one of two yellow and black McLarens we have on the field, so helpful that one's got 88 and one's got 99. This one has 3 drivers. This one is DZ Kuzik, Hugh Druptex, and Michael. Can't make out the rest of that from the spotter's guide. But the 88, somewhere in between minimalistic and very extravagant. I like the triangles on the front. Seems like it's dust flying over the hood of the car at speed. Right now they're 13th, the 88 McLaren, 2.1 off the pace. They're having an alright lap right now, but they're going to be trying to improve their standing and be a little closer to the pointy part of the pack, but they've got a bunch of fans in the chat. Great to see the support. And a good Sector 3, but they're going to stay P13 for now. Here's the other yellow and black McLaren. This one has the F1 Jordan almost livery as he goes for a spin, bit overcorrected, and he's going to stop on track. Is he going to back up, or is he going to go to the pits? He's just going to back up. Well, this is the 99 McLaren, the Deutsche Post, Buzz & Hornets, MasterCard, A&H Racing. Just well done. I love that Jordan livery from the early 2000s, and that's been replicated very well on this McLaren. This one's driven by Alan and Hazard, Alan being very fast, and I don't think I've seen Hazard on track in my time at Charge, so it'll be very, very interesting to see how he gets on in a 4-hour endurance race. But yeah, just a great livery, and they're P6 right now, so they're doing quite well. Here's the Die Manshaft car. Just a yellow and orange Porsche. Can't really go wrong with that. They've got the purple tint on the windscreen. That's something new. Definitely something that the rest of the field doesn't have. University of Applied Sciences in Upper Austria and the Johannes Kepler University at Linz. That's definitely a couple of sponsors I've never seen on track, at least at Charge. They've got the Doge up front. They're not taking this too seriously, but they are here to race. P11. With the number 27 Porsche 2.110 off the pace. Very nice, simple livery. And the keep clear on the back is definitely my favorite part. Please no Punterino from Jimmy Broadbent. You shall not pass. They have definitely got a sense of humor, and they have got plenty of time to improve their standing. I really want to see that Porsche at the front so they can tell everyone in the pack to keep clear. Especially those Lmp2 drivers that are coming in at speed. And they've started another lap. We've got the Cocorico Racing number 17 Mercedes. This one's driven by Hypnotic and Katz. Nice, I don't want to say French flag livery, because I don't know if either of them are from France, but the white, the red, the blue blends very well together, especially with the almost chrome-like reflection off of the car, but they're the number 17 with the Burnout 2 sponsorship right above those side pipes. But yeah, this Mercedes just looks great. I like the finish on the paint, the chrome, very reflective finish, and they've had a great Sector 1. Right now, they're P18 in class, so they're bringing up the bottom of the timesheets, but they're on a pretty good lap right now, so they're going to be looking to improve that. The WRC on the wing is a nice touch. Hopefully they don't go for many off-road rallycross activities. Here's that number 69 Mercedes of Mike Hawk Racing. Best time of a 1:49.8, fifth in class. Good old Charge Tour Hours of Mugello on the hood. And is that Putin? I don't think that's Putin, but it is letting everyone know that they need to get out of the way. This car is very important, of course, bearing the classic 69 number, the black rims. This thing is just something else, driven by James and Raf, as I said before, with the Hawk on the side. Of course, don't think about anything naughty about their name. And, of course, they are proclaiming that you got borked by Mike Hawk himself. Yes, I did just say that on stream. But they're in P5, so they have most of the field to let know that they got borked. But, yeah, P5, great position to be in for the race. 1:49.8, best time. They do have a little bit more to improve upon in terms of just time. here's the Red Suns hailing from France with the Toyota Gazoo Racing replica livery on a Mercedes AMG GT3. Not usually the first thing that comes to mind when you think of a Mercedes livery, but they really executed very well on this. In terms of liveries that belong on different cars, this is definitely one of the better ones. It's kind of got that almost chromed out finish, the number 86. And they are a team consisting of, let me find them on the spotter's guide, Ryashi and Tatsuya. And just the Gazoo Racing livery looks very good. They're 9th in class right now, 150.353 on the board. Excuse me. We go on to Cristiano Ronaldo in a bright pink Porsche. Is that Borat on the hood? I can't tell who that is on the side, and there's some Spanish on the side skirts. That might be Portuguese. It is a Portuguese team after all. My Spanish is not good enough to read it anyway. There's good old Steven on top. He might want to get a Kleenex or something for his nose there, but they're the number 16. And they are driven, and that team consists of Tarkovska, Pedro Oliveira, and Gonzulo. They had to have the real Cristiano Ronaldo on the side, and that ever memeable statue or bust of him on the rear. That would, if I was driving, that would distract the hell out of me if I was trying to follow them. They're 16th in class right now. Scratch that, they're 7th in class as we go back to AMG Team Foyer and lost in pace with a red and black McLaren team name on the side. That's just great. Although I might be a little biased because my favorite car to drive in Assetto Corsa Competizione is a red and black McLaren 720S, but it's not quite as good as this thing. P4 in class, they definitely have pace to back it up. 42, and they have Matazero, Rabizaho, and Rebel in that car. Brake disc glowing under the stress of turn 1. They got Tag Heuer on the side, Thrustmaster, and good old Pirelli giving everyone their virtual tires. Charge logo is, of course, very, I don't want to say simple livery, it's very well executed though. And 42 right on that little turning vein. Go back to Arbaz. Here's Scuffed GP with a Cosmic Porsche. Definitely a unique livery, and I think they really pulled the concept off. Big old 38 on the side, Pirelli on the front, Scuffed GP windscreen sticker, nice touch there. And of course they are in the GT classes. You can see on the side, Scuffed GP with the Indian flag above it. Let's see who's driving. It is Nucci and Sot in the GT3R Porsche. Number 38, like I said, 6th in class. They're going to be coming around to finish their lap, entering Sector 3. Got great times so far, and we might be coming to the end of GT3 qualifying, but I might need to double-check my times. Here's the Sim Twats, hailing from the good old Great Britain, with this livery that they've run on pretty much every car that I've seen them run and charged, but I can't tell whose face that is on the side. Someone in chat's going to have to tell me. They've already corrected me on my miscue of Portuguese versus Spanish, but they want the LMPs behind them to know that they are going to get passed on the straightaway and not in the corners. But slow is fast, fast is slow, great adage to live by with the multicolor wood grain livery. You don't usually see wood grain on a Porsche, but I don't hate this at all. The pink brake discs is definitely something else, though. Here's the Birmingham crew. They've got the British police livery. I've seen enough Top Gear to know what that is. But I do like the charged logo as the O in police. That is clever. I will give them props for that. But I can't say it's quite as cool as some of the Interceptor police liveries we have over in the States, but this is definitely a great thing, funny thing to see on track, see if they'll actually pull somebody over. But the 44 Mercedes, of course, the last time we saw a 44 Mercedes on track, it was running away from Max Verstappen in the Bahrain Grand Prix, but I'm not going to spoil who did it, but it was a pretty good ending. excuse me, the Birmingham crew, 11th in class, right in the middle of the table, just under 2 seconds off the pace, so they're in a great position to make some moves in the race. And now let's go to the Lmp2 liveries. Just a quick run through the field there. I think we've covered all of the GT3 liveries. Here's a couple of the TV crew cars, nice little custom livery there. That's great. And Red Sun's leaving the pit lane. Overdrive Simracing. Oh, we haven't gotten to this one yet. Here's the new livery we haven't seen before. Surprised we haven't seen them before because they are P2 in class, the number 4 McLaren with a great Sector 1. They got the coaster bot with the gears all over the place. I like that, almost like the Petronas teal over white. And once it gets back to the light, I think is it navy or is it black? Yeah, it's black. But the overdrive car is driven by Turtle and Brandon. And they definitely have the pace to compete for a class victory here. Under 4/10 off the pace, but that little excursion might not help their Sector 2 time too much. It doesn't. They're going to stop on track and reset to the pit lane. And let me just check my spotters. Oh, we haven't seen this Porsche livery before. I don't know if I even want to try to pronounce that German because I am distinctly American and have no idea how to pronounce that. But it's the number 31 Porsche. That's probably what I'm going to have to refer to them as. They've got the good old no collision sticker on the back, but you can't go wrong with a solid black Porsche. And the drivers of that car are Shiro and Ihan. They have combined their forces to try to make a run for the win at 4 Hours of Mugello. They're P16. Last lap wasn't the greatest. They still have more time. They are, oh, thank you, Stefan. Stefan in chat translating for me, the flower pickers. I will try to remember that throughout the course of the race. But, yeah, the flower pickers in a nice black Porsche, and they're going to be trying to improve their time. Arbaz is leaving the pits. Here's Lost in Pace. The Diamond Shaft. Lawnmower Racing, new livery. The Lawnmower Racing Samsung blue, silver, and orange car. The orange trim around the splitter and the wheel wells I like, and the headlights on that AMG Evo I really like them. But they're the number 72, primarily sponsored by Samsung, and not stopping for the police. Okay, so there might be a conflict between Lawnmower Racing and the Birmingham boys. Never know if there's going to be any high-speed chases, Need for Speed style around this track. I don't think Mugello was made for that sort of thing. But Lawnmower Racing, is driven by Toxic and Chris 1992. They are P1 in class with a 148.399. So they're doing even better than my initial guess of the mid 148s being the pace for pole in GT3. It's actually going to be the low 148s with 399. But right now they are in charge, pun not intended, of this race. Here's the Peepo Racing number 66 Oreca LMP2. This one is driven by Shallow Water and Pamela. Sorry, it's a bit small on my second screen. The good old Pepe facing forward. They got plenty of Pepes everywhere, and it's even just ingrained into the livery itself. This is almost a tribute to Will Wadsworth car. I can't speak when I stream. To Will's car that he ran in the Ginetta race a few weeks ago, which was my first time commentating. So I now have to do this for a second time for 4 hours. But a nice fun livery for Peepo Racing. This is a really creative name. Bearing Straight with the water-themed Oreca number 22, driven by Alex V and Lantern. They're patiently waiting their turn to head out on track and begin to set their times. But while they're doing that, we'll probably get a few of the GT3 drivers in here to get their thoughts about the race and what lies ahead of them, how they're planning on doing stints and strategies. And I'm not quite sure how much they're going to differ from car to car, but I have not delved too far into the strategies for this race, so I'm not quite sure how many pit stops we can expect. Here's the Wadsworths with Will and Sam. The number 3 for Dale Earnhardt Sr. Awesome touch there with the black and blue tiger stripe with yellow accents. That's great. Yeah, buddy energy on up front with the bull facing forward, of course. You don't want the bull facing anywhere but forward. And they want to do it for Dale. Nice little reference to Cletus McFarland and, the man himself, the number 3. But they've got some of the better sponsors on the grid. They got feckin' tires and what is that on the end fence of the wing? I can't tell from that angle, but on to the number 41 Areca Dacia. We're going to head back to check that end fence. Okay, chat, you can read it. The number 41 silver Areca with Dacia chromed out livery with Logitech on the side. This is just a great livery in general. I have proclaimed my my affinity for the chromed out paint finishes, and this just takes it to the next level. 4 hours of Mugello. And this one driven by Bogdan and CD. Don't know which one's in the car right now, but we might be able to get a look at that later. Brembo brakes on the little quarter panel behind the wheel. And here's Team Alpha with the Cool American. I believe that to be a Dorito. Or it's a... No, it is Doritos. Okay, I was right. Need to stop second guessing myself about delicious chips. But the Doritos livery with the nutrition facts on the side, great touch there. They're going to be the number 8 squad for Lmp2, and that's Rushed By and Meridabera forming that 2-man team. But yep, they're waiting with the rest of the Lmp2s, just waiting for their turn to run. I believe that GT3 running has finished. We're getting a little turnaround break. Here's the Coca-Cola car of SDR, the number 82. And this one piloted by... Oh, hold on. Oh, they've got the 2-sided livery. Oh, they've got Pepsi and Coke. Ooh. That might... I hope that doesn't start a chat war, but... Chat, what do you prefer, Pepsi or Coke? I'm more of a Coke guy myself, but soft drink racing made up of Iwis and Harry I, they're going to leave the pit lane now, head out on track with the rest of them to get their to get their outlaps in. TC Cola for sure. Didi with Fanta, Steven of course, Iced Tea. Dr. Pepper, I agree. Dr. Pepper is better than both Pepsi and Coke. Dr. Pepper is just amazing. Anyway, here's Speedon't with a similar livery to the Speedo Racing Porsche, but kind of isolated to the rear portion of the car. This is Zeif and Dario's effort, the number 23. Still a great livery. This one also designed by Ren, if I'm not mistaken. Ren, tell me if you did these ones, because I'm pretty sure you were in the Discord asking for drivers with these liveries. Really well done. Here's the Corgi Racing squad. That one is Stefan, aka No Concept, and Patrese with the Williams tribute livery. That is a really well done tribute, and they've adapted it to their own purposes, of course, with Charge. They got Patrese on the side. That might be his cat, but yeah, Corgi Racing is going to be number 6 for this one. Just finishing up their outlap now. But a really nice Williams tribute there to the old classics. Ren says Zeif stole his Speedo livery, and now the two are fighting in chat. That's great. That's great. Ren claims he did 95% of the Speedo LMP2 livery, and Zeif says Ren says he only did... Ren says he did 99%, Zeif said he did 95%. They can hash that out. But here's Team Alpha. We'll get the trackside view of them screaming through Turn 1. Team Alpha, we already went over them. They've got the Doritos livery. There's Steven as the Teletubbies son in the background. That's just something else to see in the middle of the race. Steven claims he did 0.0%. And Stefan reminding me that it's not a Williams tribute. It's a wait, no, is it? It's a Lancia. It's a Lancia tribute from their rally success. They are the most successful rally team ever to exist on the planet. Apologies for getting my racing teams confused. I really shouldn't be doing things like that, but yeah, good. It's a good tribute livery regardless. And Patrese apparently did the Group C lap record. So nice little almost an in joke from them. But here's Thunder Racing. Number 5, 2 purple sectors, brakes glowing. They're following the Fyodor's Cheesy Balls team. We haven't taken a good look at their livery yet, but of course Fyodor is on that team. Pipo Racing to the top of the timing sheets. The number 66 putting in a 135.914. Corgi Racing right behind him in a 136.278. So we've already got some real fast times getting put in now. Number 3 picked up by Dacia with a 37.013. 4th goes to Team Alpha. And a new 3rd place, STR, with a 136.3 flat. They've just claimed P3 for their own purposes. And there's a new P4, Thunder Racing, with a 36.735. Beginning to really sort out the fields now. But right now we're going to bring in Boz to the commentary booth. He's requested to talk during the Lmp2 quali. He is in one of the GTs. Don't remember which one off the top of my head, but we're gonna go ahead and bring him in. Oh, if my Discord cooperates, that is. Oh, here he is. He heard me on stream. Hi, Boz.
Hello.
You there? Oh, there he is. So, yeah, welcome to the commentary box. Just wrapping up qualifying, really. But what did you think of your time? Or were you driving out on track or not?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Again, the GT3 field looks very close. Yes. So again, it could be a real sort of toss-up to who comes out on top through this 4-hour marathon of a race.
Yeah, we've had a lot of guys close at the top in GT3, and it looks like we're going to have likewise for LMP2. Top 4 separated by less than a second. Always great to see. Team Alpha goes P5, and they slotted with 136.637, 1.275 off the pace. Nazim, we already have 100 views. Hey, look at that. But we've been live for 45 minutes. Speed up to P5. Here's Fyodor's Cheesy Balls. This team is consisting of Fyodor, of course, Cheesy Maniac, and Tommy Ball. And they are good for P9 in class right now. Here's the Wadsworths. They're coming across the line. Can you say something, Boz?
No, I was just going to say, yeah, again, it's going to be pretty close up the top of LMP2. Again, if Dario can get his lap together for the Speed Open car, they could quite well be on pole.
Yeah, the Speedo teams have been quite fast in practice, and we're going to be looking to see if they can carry that over to racing conditions. 23:45 left in qualifying for now. And once that timer is up, there is no more running, and that is the field for the 4 hours of Mugello, presented by Charge. But well, let's go on board with the Pipo racing car. They're going to duck into the pits. That LED screen on the wheel would just mess me up so much. I'd spend too much time looking at that. But I asked Naughty this question, Buzz. Do you have a favorite for both LMP2 and GT3?
Again, it's going to be quite difficult because again, it's such a long race that I think anybody could easily come out on top. But I will have to say that Lawnmower Racing and Lynx Racing are my 2 picks for GT3, and I'd probably say that Corgi Racing is my pick for LMP2s.
Awesome. So we've seen some fantastic liveries for this one. Pick a favorite for each class, because my favorite for the LMP2s, if we're going for just style, I like the Dacia one the most. The clean, kind of gray, chromed out lines. And for GT3, I'm a big fan of the Speedo livery.
Yeah, I kind of have to agree with the Speedo livery. I think that's the best one for GT3. For LMP2, it's difficult because it would be silly of me to say the Speed don't because it's the same livery, but I do love the soft drink racing car, the split Pepsi and Coke livery. That, to me, is a really good one.
Yeah, they definitely maintained consistency throughout that one very well. And it totally confused me on the spotter's guide because our first view on stream was from the left side of the car, the Coke side, and on the spotter's guide, it's the Pepsi side. So I was looking around, like, what car is this? It says Coca-Cola Racing, but it's actually just the soft drink racing car.
It pulled a bamboozle.
Yes, it very much so did. Let's watch the Dacia car cross the line, trying to improve their standing from P9 in class. They go to P7. 36.361. Corgi Racing on top. SDR picks up P3 with a 35.8. Corgi Racing is still half a second clear of the top 4, and now we have the top 7 separated by just a second. But the second through 4th is very close. All put in, or are all 4/10 and change off of the leader. So just behind P1, there's going to be a lot of competition to try to squeeze everything you can out of that car. Oh, we have a dead PC. F in chat, everybody.
Yep.
This, I think that's Ramos. Let me double check that. But yeah, we can push through past the technical difficulties. We're gonna try to do everything we can to keep the stream going. On board with Thunder Racing, Purple S1. They might be trying to make a look from P8 all the way to P1. Feels very competitive. It's very doable. Go a little wide there. And here's the Speedont car. Decent S1, good S2. And they're going to be finishing their lap, heading through the 3rd sector, of course. But yeah, we're down to 20 minutes left in qualifying. Corgi Racing stays on top, then Peepo from SDR bearing straight. Speedo, which we're watching now, that is due to change once they cross the line, see if they improve. Team Alpha in 6th, Dacia 7th, Thunder Racing 8th, the Wadsworth in 9th, Fyodor's... I'm just going to call them Cheesy Balls. Cheesy Balls in 10th, Lawnmower Racing 11th, Overdrive 12th, and Speedo to P2. Blistering lap, and Thunder Racing goes P3. It is heating up at the top. Top 5. Actually, scratch that. The top 8 now separated by just a second. All of the LMP2 drivers really squeezing everything you can out of that car. Raph, it's not my... I wasn't born yesterday. You can't get me with that one. You made me consider it. I'll give you that. But Raph in chat trying to trick me, trying to bamboozle me. I'm not tired enough to be bamboozled yet. When we get around to hour 4, you could probably try that one again. Excuse me. I'm trying to keep hydrated throughout this this 4-hour race. I'm going to be commentating the whole thing, and my vocal cords are probably going to be destroyed at the end of it. But here's bearing straight, Purple S1, Green S2. They're going to try to go from P6 to P1, P2, and they only missed out by... We'll see the time here, by only a 10th. So we have the top 3 separated by less than 2/10.
And it looks like Speedo is on a very good lap as well.
Yeah, Speedo's on a flyer here, the 23. And they're going to be rounding the final corner along left-hander at Mugello for the long uphill straight. Trying to maximize everything out of the gears. Try to take P1. They will.
Do. That's a 35-1. That's 30. A serious time.
35-1 is just astonishingly quick, and they clear Corgi Racing by 2/10. I don't think Corgi Racing is going to let that fly, though. They have plenty of time to maximize that setup. They've got Peepo Racing to P4. Here's SDR. Nice helicopter top-down view. Watching every apex and exit there. And they round the final corner. Number 82, LMP2. Trying to improve from 6th place. I don't think it'll happen this lap. Oh, they will. They'll go P4. SDR to P4. And Peepo Racing has just dropped to the bottom of the timesheets. You have to wonder if there was a disconnect problem.
I think they're probably switching drivers out to...
Team Alpha follows suit.
They're probably just switching drivers out to start the race from quali.
That is a good point. Pardon the water bottle. But yeah, get your popcorn, chat, because everyone is starting to get ever quicker, and now the fast drivers, or maybe the slow drivers, you never know. Well, actually, in LMP2, scratch that, they're both licensed, so we got fast drivers going in. Manshaft and Speedo, they both drop down for a for a driver swap. Team Alpha goes P6. They're within a second of pole. Here's SDR once again. The soft drink racing car trying to gun for first place. They have 0.345 left to find if they want to take pole for the 4 hours of Mugello. As we creep up on 16:20 left in the session. Coca-Cola side of the car, bright in the sun. And Peepo Racing slots back into P5. See, entering the final corner, mid-corner, get on the power, start to drift wide, get the shifts right, don't mess it up on the straightaway. And across the line, soft drink racing stays P4, doesn't improve on that lap. We've got another LMP exiting the pit lane. And SDR is going to sweep through turn 1. Go for another lap. Let's see the Sector 1 split time. Once they go through the Wadsworth's P9, and they start yet another lap. Don't know which one's in right now. Don't think we'll ever be able to tell throughout the entire race. But Peepo Racing and Thunder Racing in P5 and 6 respectively are separated by 0.02 of a second, or even less than that. As we see GG Balls in the 24 LMP2. They're about half a second up on their delta in the first sector. We've got Dacia. They've got a PB sector down 0.2 up. I don't think he went wide there, but we can't tell from that angle. They're going to be following Cheese Balls through. Gets a little nervous heading over the curb there, and he's got a purple S1 time now. That's Speedo, rather, with the purple S1 time. They might try to solidify their pole position standing here.
Yeah, if they all link it up together, they will probably breach the 35s and go into the 34s. It's happened in practice races, so it could quite well happen today.
Yeah, there is a precedent for speed here. It's just a matter of executing. Not the best Sector 2 time, but there's always Sector 3. You can make up a lot of time in those S's to finish out the lap. And they've just got a handful of corners left. Onboard cockpit views a great camera angle here. Leaves it a bit wide, tries to sweep into the apex on the power early. Hits third gear. Really need to nail these S's, get the most out of them, but don't go take too much curve or else you slide wide. Keeps it on track perfectly there. He's only 0.08 up on the delta. Get through the last corner. Good exit is critical here. Let's see if the number 23 can pull further out ahead of Corgi for P1. Don't think that's going to happen for this one. A 35.468. Just about 0.3 off of their current pull time. That was a great Sector 1. Definitely can learn lessons from that and carry it over. But yeah, they still have P1 here from Corgi, Bering Straits, SDR, Peepo, and Thunder for the top 6. Team Alpha is within a second of the top in 7th. 13 minutes left. Just getting closer and closer to go time here. We got 4 hours of action afterward. Still on board with the speed-out car. Sector 1 wasn't the greatest. Let's see if they can pick up on a little more time in Sector 2. Lawnmower Racing drops back for a driver swap in the 72 Mercedes. And it's actually a great time to take a tour of Mugello. This is a very fast circuit. Of course, in Ferrari's backyard, held a Formula One Grand Prix last year with a interesting restart incident. That was probably one of the bigger crashes I've seen in F1. But let's hope not to replicate that. I believe this is not a rolling start. Correct me if I'm wrong, Boz.
It will be a rolling start.
Okay, it will be. So they're going to try to not replicate what the F1 boys did here when they were trying to restart after a safety car. Elmo asks who's starting in lawnmower racing. I'm going to find that for you. Lawnmower racing, it has Toxic and Chris 1992. I don't think I'll be able to know who's starting. I'm going to assume it's going to be Toxic. He's consistently topped the charts in weekly races, Boz. I'm sure you've seen. And
he's very, very quick. I am going to need to head out now because I need to swap into my car to start the race.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
That was Boz, everybody. He's driving for Thunder Racing, and he's going to be starting the race. Elmo reporting in chat. Toxic did quali, so if they're swapping, it's Chris. Chris, 1992, going to be starting the race. I haven't seen his name on a charged timing sheet yet. Well, let's see if he can take the 72 Mercedes into the top positions. 72 Mercedes is not on my timing screen right now, but I'm sure they will show up eventually. Mr. Camera Director, can we please get a look at the toilets? Chat is clambering for the... oh, here we go. The double Steven. That's how you start. It's Steven's house, everybody. Stop referring to them as toilets. Steven's trying his best, okay? And Naughty Dragon is back in the booth right as we get a look at Teletubby Steven's son, Thunder Racing to P6. This track skin made by Adrian, I think it is it's very good. Nice balance between the serious 4 hours of Mugello and Steven's face being plastered on a porta potty. I think the crowds here. Oh, James made the skin. I think the crowds here have some interesting characters among them as we get a nice top look at Mugello. Naughty, what do you think of the times that have been laid down here? Speedon with a 135.1 to take pole.
I mean, that's very quick, though we did see a 134 in a practice race a couple of days ago, so it can go down to the wire, but these times are very close at the minute, so it could go any way.
And since you were inside on the practice race and I just did a test stream, tell the audience about some of the strategy that goes into driving here, and I'm gonna duck out of the booth real quick, do some last minute preparations, but I'll be back for the start of the race for sure, and we've got about 9 minutes 40 seconds left in qualifying. Speedo still on top, with Corgi Racing second, bearing straight third.
Yeah, it's a real challenge in the Orica around Mugello because you're putting a lot of stress on the front left tyre, which often means it wears much quicker than the others. So you have to kind of balance the setup and strategy so you don't actually cook it. And it's, in a way, the strategy is based around the front left tyre, because if that goes, then you're in a whole world of trouble. But roughly for each stint, it's around maybe 30 laps, but we shall see on different strategies and different driver styles and setups, so it could go any way with this race really, but it's 4 hours and time will tell. As so go on board with Speedo, who are looking very strong. Who I believe Dario is in the car, and Zypher is cheering him on from the sidelines. So first sector there for Speedo. So we see Cheesy Ball off in the gravel there, not sure what happened. Hopefully it's not too serious.
Hello, chat. Did you miss me? I bet you didn't. Anyway, Speedo still on top. Bearing Straight picked up second place. And overall, very competitive field so far. P1 down to P6. Covered by 1 second. And 7th, 8th, and 9th all within 1.2. But Speedo still leading overall with pole here from Bearing Straight and People Racing. And for GG3 Lawnmower Racing with pole and Overdrive and Lynx, P2 and P3 for the GT class. I think Corgi Racing and the Simtwats are making a driver swap. Gonna try to get their man in for the start of the race, but we are under 5 minutes to go overall until the beginning of the 4 hours of Mugello from Charged. You have to admit, it's getting a little more excited because we're under 5 minutes to race time. Never know what's going to happen in turn 1. You can't win in turn 1, but how much aggression do you think we're going to see, Naughty, in turn 1 from all the drivers?
I mean, race control he's been on it this week, so I doubt we'll see anything that bold into turn 1 and many people holding their lines, because Peter has been given the go-ahead to park anyone he deems unsafe for racing, so I suspect it'll be very close, but I doubt we'll see much contact, if the few bit of door banging. But
you said it's Pika in control.
Yeah, Pika Roshu, I should say.
Pika Roshu, everybody, is race control, and he has authority to execute anyone he sees fit via park. Nazim says there's going to be a 10-car crash. I don't think it's going to be that much. We're probably going to have a spinner or two, maybe. I would not be very surprised if we can cleanly make it through all of this. It's definitely not going to be a Formula Agile all over again. SDR, still P4, but they are under a 10th to Peepo. They're under a 10th to pole, actually, on board with Bearing Straight, as they wind their way into the third sector, avoiding an Lmp outside. Speedo still on top, just rising from the bottom after a driver change, I assume?
But yes, driver change.
Alright. So, yeah, overall, we've got 4 hours of racing. As far as endurance races are concerned, usually you see like a 12-hour or a 24, but there is a lot of strategy that goes into this, and Naughty was talking about that. But yeah, it's really just a measured aggression in terms of pace. You want to be there at the end, but you also want to be in a position where you can take control of your own race and win. But a lot of the early stages, you want to be cautious, but like I said earlier, you also want to be able to take advantage of the field being bunched up, because at the start of the race, you don't have to make up 5 seconds to the guy ahead to try to put a move on him. You really only need to make up about 5/10, but definitely need a measured aggression so you don't just bin yourself in the first couple of laps and then play catch up for the rest of the race. Is Nightbot getting a little too power hungry in chat? I think Nightbot's getting a little too power hungry. But we are under 2 minutes, minute 45 actually, until go time. I believe all of the cars are in the pits, on board with the Diamond Shaft. Porsche, nice pink interior. It wouldn't be my personal spec, but
maybe pink on the exterior would work better, in my opinion.
A reverse of the pink and yellow, or just all pink?
Well, historically my liveries have been a pink and purple gradient, so all pink on the outside.
That'd probably make it. That would make it 3 pink Porsches in the race, which would make commentary a little difficult. But luckily, the TV overlay has us covered there. And we have 1 minute until we switch over to the grid, and then it's just a little countdown. Reportedly, they did pink for the inside of the number 27 Porsche because they could. That's always a good excuse, and you should use that for everything. It won't go wrong, I promise. But I think we're going to stick on board with them. Coming down the last 35 seconds. A lot of support and chat for a lot of different drivers. I'm starting to get a little more excited about calling this. I'm going to try not to yell too much throughout the race, just to try to save my vocal cords. I'm going to be drinking a lot of water and probably ducking out to go get more throughout this whole thing, but should be exciting. The competition is just extremely tight. All of the LMP2s separated by 1.2 seconds, and all the GT3s have proved to be very close in pace, with the balanced performance by Ren doing its job. And I do see there's 3 McLarens in the top 4, but Porsche and Mercedes definitely close enough.
These brothers, my guys, know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ack, now I gotta roll with ice. Ride or die, 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 ride or die. These brothers, my guys, know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ack, now I gotta ride or die.
And I think every time when, I don't think Ren is racing, but he'll probably correct me if I'm wrong. Ren's going to be running lots of bets, so you can frivolously spend all of your channel points on losing bets with a slight chance of getting some back, because fake internet points are, of course, the most valuable currency that our species has ever put together. But we're on the grid now. Ren's not going to be racing. At least you can run the bets. You're pretty good at running some good bets. But Speedone on top of the entire field in the 23 LMP2. Corgi Racing P2 with the Lancia tribute livery, the number 6. P3 goes to Bering Strait, the 22 LMP2 with the water livery. Down to P4, it's Peepo Racing, the 66. One of the better liveries on the field, but of course they're all great. And now down to Soft Drink Racing, the one that bamboozled me on the Spotter's Guide, the 82 in P5. P6, Thunder Racing, the number 5. And they're going to be looking to make up probably some positions up in these first few sectors. The Wadsworths doing it for Dale from P7, hailing from the good old US of A. Team Alpha P8 with the Doritos livery. Going to try to run away from P9. That is Fyodor's Cheesy Balls, who have claimed that Team Alpha stole part of their livery, but they're going to be using the 24 LMP2 to try to fight their way from the back of their own field. And Dacia, P10 overall and P10 in class, and they're going to move over to the GT3s. Pole position belonging to the Mercedes number 72 of Lawnmower Racing, the Samsung car. Chris going to be starting the race, if chat's to be believed. Overdrive Sim Racing with the top McLaren in the field, the number 4. Going to try to get the run into turn 1. They've got the outside line. Lynx Racing is the second car on the inside line with the number 39 McLaren. Racing under the Polish flag. 14th is yet another McLaren 720S GT3, lost in pace, of number 42. And I can't identify that flag. Don't quote me on this. I might be Serbia. Mike Hawk Racing, the number 69 Mercedes. That's what it is. They're in P15. P16 to Scuffed GP with the Cosmic Porsche 911 GT3 R, number 38. 17th, Cristiano Ronaldo with just a great maroon meme livery, number 16 with Portuguese on the side. I know what it is, chat. The number 99 Jordan Tribute A&H Racing McLaren 720. They are going to be P18, P19 to the Birmingham crew. Going to try to pull over any suspects they find on track. The 44 Mercedes, followed by the P20 car, red sums, then yet another Mercedes flying under the French flag, 86, the number on that car. AMG Team Foyer, 75, of course a Mercedes, can't have an AMG car without being an AMG, of course, 21st. 22nd, Speedo Racing, my favorite livery in the GT3 field, the number 37 on their Porsche racing machine, driven by Michelin Yellow 13. Diamond Shaft with the fabulous pink interior, the number 27, are going to be just ahead of Simtwats in 24th, and number 68 car, hailing from Great Britain. Number 25 on the grid belongs to a McLaren. It's Arbaz Motorsports, number 88 McLaren. And Sounds of Bass with 5 Tier 1 gift subs. Thank you for that. The Flower Pickers, I did remember the name of the 26 Porsche, or the number 31 Porsche in P26, P27, Brum Bum Racing, McLaren 720S in 11th. And we've got the Cocorico Racing number 17 Mercedes in P28, and the 5 lights are out. There's the race control car. 3, 4, 5, 6 lights are on. And 6 lights are out. We've got 4 hours of racing coming up soon. The Lmp2 cars are going to roll off the grid for their formation lap. Listening to those V6s scream their way down the front straight. A little bit of a gap, and we are going to pick up the GT3 field rolling off the line. Flashing with headlights all up and down the grid. V8, oh, thank you, Ren. Even better. 2 cylinders is always better than, or 2 more cylinders can't hurt at all. File through T1 single file. As the Speedo car keeps the lead. And Bearing Straight picks up P2. Team Alpha gets P9 from Dacia, and the GT3s are gone. Down to the turn 1. We might be 3 wide. The Mercedes on the inside of Lawnmower Racing, trying to get away from Lynx, but Overdrive takes him around the outside. Here's Diamond Shaft in the middle of it all, and Speedo keeps the lead. Dacia overtakes Fyodor, the Cheesy Balls team, and Simtwats passes Diamond Shaft with the McLaren just behind. Here's the Mercedes of red subs. They all fan out for this corner. It happened. Big crash happened here in Formula 1. Everybody keeps it clean here. We've got a couple drivers edging onto the runoff area, but overall fairly clean. I haven't seen any incidents myself, but the Scuff GP Porsche drops to the back of the field. Looks like they might have had a little off-track excursion, but no punterinos as far as I've seen. Diamond Shaft car trying to defend from the Arbaz Motorsport McLaren. They're going to keep to the inside. The McLaren's going to stay to the outside. And they've got a Mercedes bearing down on them. Here's Red Suns just behind the A&H Racing McLaren. And it looks like the Simtwats car might be making a move on the Gazoo Racing car. Not quite, I don't think, but we've got a battle for the lead. Lawnmower Racing loses P3 to Mike Hawk Racing, and Bearing Straight passes Speedo for the overall lead. Speedo drops back. They're still within striking distance. They may come back on them. The Flower Pickers car just all by its lonesome in the middle of the pack. All the GT3s beginning to go single file. And if we can cut to the battle for the lead, Speedo within half a second. There's the Cocorico Racing car, number 17. It looks like the Simtwats car trying to make a move on the A&H Racing McLaren down into turn 1 through the long straightaway, winding up through the gears. Man, what a start. The Birmingham boys pass Cristiano Ronaldo. And, well, Bearing Straight still has the lead. Speedo has fallen back by 1.5 seconds to them, and Team Alpha goes off track. They're going to have to recover quickly to minimize the positions lost. I'm not sure if they had help getting put into the outside wall through the grass, but they get passed by Cheesy Ball's team. And they're going to try to play catch-up for the rest of the race. But they're down to... Oh, they haven't lost too many positions. They're still ahead of the GT3s by some considerable margin. Here's the Cocorico Racing car, and we found a Speedo who is under pressure from Peepo Racing. Bearing Straight pulled away by 2.5 seconds in 2 laps. They put in a 1:36.9. and Speedo and Pipo are going to have to go side by side into turn 1. Big move there.
And Lawnmower Racing are off.
Yeah, they've gone off track. We'll need to see if they had help or not. But a bit of a fall from grace, unfortunately. They're going to try to rejoin safely, but they started this at the top of GT3, and they're now down to 26th overall on board with the Birmingham crew. He's seems to be all alone right now. Not too much pressure from behind. Nothing to worry about from up front. But here's the Speedo Racing Porsche under attack. Oh, they're going to be 3 wide. Entering the final corner, Mercedes on the inside, McLaren on the outside. The Porsche gets the better grip through the middle, and the 37 starts winding through the gears a little faster than the 2 behind. Arbaz and AMG fighting with each other, fighting with the Speedo Porsche. There's another, I believe, Porsche that's arriving on the scene to turn 1, and this could end in tears. Can't quite see what's going on now. Lawnmower Racing trying to defend the Cocorico racing car. Yes, it was a Mercedes, not a Porsche, and the A&H racing car's off. You have to wonder if they got hit by anyone else in that little gaggle, but that buzzing Hornets, McLaren's going to have to rejoin on the track. Do you think there was a bit of contact into turn 1, Noddy?
Maybe, but that you have to cut right back across the track, so they could potentially have just clipped a wheel on grass and spun it themselves, but it's hard to tell without all.
Oh, the Speedo Racing Porsche's off, and he's taken the Brum Brum Racing McLaren with him. Did they collide, or was the Brum Brum McLaren caught up? They're both to the bottom of the field, and the Speedo Racing Porsche, one of the favorites for GT3, is going to have to make a recovery drive. The Brum Brum McLaren is about to get pressure from LMP2s now, bringing up the rear of the GT3 field. Diamond Shaft gets overtaken for P19 and lap traffic. Oh, Scuff GP's off on the outside of the corner. Maybe a little bit of oversteer and overcorrection, but he's keeping it on the sand for now, letting traffic by. He's got a lot of traffic behind him. It's going to be an unfortunate loss of time for them. Still have a little under 4 hours left for the Speedo Racing car, who's getting lapped right now by Bearing Straight. Bearing Straight is about 3.5 seconds ahead of Pipo Racing, ahead of Speedo, Corti Racing P4, and SDR P5. Overdrive maintains first in GT3, Lynx Racing second, and Mike Hawk up to third. There's the Scuff GP Porsche getting navigated by the LMP2s. And the 86 Mercedes Gazoo Racing livery being slowly but surely chased down by Lost in Pace, red and black McLaren. A lot of sparks, and the Red Sun's car spears off. Just a little too much curb there, you think. But, see, he doesn't have a whole lot of traffic behind him after the McLaren. He's still going to wait, dropping back. It's just heartbreaking to see that Mercedes there. Speedo LMP2 gets back up to P2, passes the Pipo Racing machine. They're going to be fighting it out for the rest of this lap. They have to navigate the lap traffic, though. Get around the Mercedes of Lawnmower Racing. Nice and clean, more sparks flying up from the under tray of the Pipo Racing LMP2 Oreca. We have had plenty of action. Oh, the Speedo car's off!
And that looked like a big hit as well.
Yeah, it was a sizable impact. Damage is on for this race, albeit reduced, but that is just tragic for the Speedo car. From P2, hits the wall very hard on the outside. They might have to pit to repair. That is disastrous. You do not want that happening, especially in the first hour of the race.
I suspect they may have to pit, because that was coming out of Arrabbiata, and that's a very high-speed section, so going off there can often lead in big damage when hitting the wall, because they're moving at very high speed.
Yeah, I agree. We did catch it a little late on the camera, but it was a pretty hard impact. Thunder Racing's off too. they need to recover. They dropped down a couple of positions down to P9. They're ahead of Alpha, but Dacia and GG Balls, the Mike Hawk, Mercedes spins off in the same spot the other one did. Mercedes having a little problem, or seemingly having some problems keeping it together on the exit of that corner, but that's another front-running Mercedes out. Or not out, sorry. Spinning out there, losing some positions. He's down to 22nd overall. Here's the Simtwats Porsche getting passed by a LMP2, and the Birmingham crew also trying to stay out of the way of, I believe, Bearing Straight. Yep, that is Bearing Straight going by them. They're just moving their way into the third sector. Yeah, a lot of off tracks. And the Peepo racing car might have gone under the grass there to make a pass on Lost in Pace, but keeps it together. The SDR car cutting it very close, really pushing the limit, trying to get around the lap traffic as efficiently as he can. Another dive into the braking zone on the flower picker car, 31. But the ANH Racing McLaren trying to find his way past as well. With the Cocorico racing car trying to get past the Cristiano Ronaldo Porsche to take P18 overall. Let's get the nice helicopter view here, dive down trackside, and see if you can get a better run out of the final corner. Already a lot of action here. I would buckle up, because if this... Oh, the Speedo Racing Porsche is off again. There might be damage to that car. The front is definitely crumpled. The back rear bumper has damage. You really don't want any rear damage to be happening to a car that's rear engine. A lot of weight back there. You need the downforce. They might be looking to pit soon, as the Lynx racing car gets a little sandwiched by Bearing Straight and the McLaren ahead. That is the overdrive McLaren. This is for class lead right here. Very tight. And the Birmingham crew Mercedes passed by SDR, and the ANH Racing McLaren goes off again. This time not quite as severe. Gonna try to move their way along the rest of the lap. They might lose another position to Lawnmower Racing, but they've gotten up to speed pretty quickly, so I don't think that's going to be a threat for now. Man, what a start. Here's the Cocorico racing car, still trying to chase down Cristiano Ronaldo. They got the Thunder Racing LMP going around, goes a little wide there. Birmingham crew, they're getting passed by faster traffic. And the ANH racing car drops down the order a couple positions again. They might have half spun. They're probably going to want to pit. That first impact was fairly severe. The Lynx Racing McLaren, still P2, still hunting after the overdrive McLaren, but I believe filtering through traffic is giving the overdrive McLaren about 2 seconds of advantage. Here's the Diamond Shaft car, Thunder Racing going by on his left. The Thunder Racing car has more GT3 traffic ahead. Yep, Simtwats car and the Team Alpha. Team Alpha car just behind Thunder Racing, trying to get the slipstream down to turn 1. Overdrive Sim Racing in control of GT3. Passed by SDR there. But the McLarens with a pretty strong showing with a 1-2. Then Birmingham boys in a Mercedes. And then AMG makes a pass, and Lost in Pace passes them right back. Here's Red Suns trying to defend from ANH Racing in their Mercedes GT3, as we are getting closer. Oh, there's a half spin. AMG Team Foyer and Lost in Pace. I think they got tangled up, and Lost in Pace loses traction trying to get back going again. Bit early for donuts there, but they're going to lose about 4 positions. And Thunder Racing, I don't think they've gone off. They looked a little slow. But I think keeping it on track is going to be priority for most of these guys after all the off tracks that have happened. But I've received a message from Lantern. He has requested that I call it Birmingham. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. No promises about 4 hours into the race though. But the AMG Team Foyer car might be making a move on that Cristiano Ronaldo Porsche that they've been looking at, but the Arbaz Motorsport McLaren is waiting for both of them to get tangled up to get an advantage there. Right now, the Lynx Racing car trying to close in on overdrive for P1 in class gets passed by an LMP2. Naughty, what do you think of the start?
A few more crashes than I'd have hoped, but it's still early on and a lot can change. And unfortunately, a couple cars got tangled up in each other and lost a few positions, which they must be slightly annoyed about, but we shall see further on into the race. There's, Thunder Racing getting caught up in GT traffic there.
And that Cristiano Ronaldo number 16 Porsche gets overtaken by both the Arbaz McLaren and the AMG Team 4. The Coco Rico racing car for a little bit of a rear ending there as we go on board. But the AMG Team 4 racing Mercedes got passed by Arbaz, but they also made the pass in the Cristiano Ronaldo car. As here's Red Suns, they had a pretty costly spin earlier on, but they're trying to fight their way back from P26 in the field. Kind of in a good spot right now. No pressure from behind. The ANH racing car is well out of striking distance, even by extreme dive bomb standards. As the Lynx racing car, got a bit close with the cheesy balls. LMP2 through that corner. Don't really want to race them through there. They have a lot more downforce. Here's the Diamond Shaft Porsche trying to make a move on the Simracing Porsche down the front straight. Or not, this isn't the front straight. This is Sector 3. But they've had a pretty quiet race so far, the 27 Porsche. And focusing in on the number 68 Porsche of Simracing just ahead. And they got the Thunder Racing LMP2 slotting in just in front of them. Some support for Arbaz in the chat. They're doing pretty solidly for themselves, 17th overall. And definitely not out of it. We're only 15 minutes into this race. A lot can happen, but it's not time to give up hope now. We can see drivers from ANH Racing or Speedo come all the way back and take a class win. But right now, overall lead still belongs to Bering Strait, 5.5 ahead of Pipo and Corgi Racing on the podium in P3. They've very quietly made their way up from, I believe, they're 5th on the grid, right?
I believe Corgi Racing was 3rd on the grid, so they're where they are, where they started. It's just... With what we've seen so far in the race, I think a net no positions gained, no positions lost is a great place to be, especially when you're not in first. You've got the pressure of setting the pace for everybody else. You don't have to worry about people closing in. You can just sit comfortable in P3, just follow the guy ahead, keep it on track, and be there at the end to try to make a move. Definitely one of the better positions to be in overall. And, the Scuff GP Porsche speared off track, the 38. Is he going to get back going, or is he going to be sitting there? Can he find reverse? Yes. I believe he did that all on his own, but he's going to try to recover back on track. He doesn't have a whole lot of traffic heading his way, but the Red Suns Mercedes, number 86, going to have a couple of flybys from Corgi Racing and Soft Drink Racing. Go on board with the Corgi car. You're going to be heading around long right-handed corner. You want to hit your apex, get on the power as early as you can, and do not oversteer or you're going to lose a lot of time. Here's the Arbaz Motorsports McLaren. Just coming to the end of the front straightaway, diving on that front suspension, under braking, clips the apex nicely, gets on the power, and they're 17th overall. The number 69 Mercedes, recovering from their incident, they're up to 22nd in class. And I don't think they have a lot of GT3 pressure close behind, but I think they're about 12 seconds shy of Flower Pickers
Porsche just ahead. And here's the Lawnmower Racing Mercedes, passed by the SDR LMP. Overall, do you think the you're very close with the Wadsworth and the Brun Racing McLaren? But Naughty, overall, do you think these incidents early on are going to affect the overall strategy that these teams use? I think he might be having PC trouble. Anyway, the Diamond Shaft Porsche is within sight of the Simtwats Porsche ahead. They are looking to pick up, I think it's P4 in class. And they are just two of them together, high timing. Here's the Flower Pickers, number 31 Porsche, passed by Peepo Racing. That Peepo Racing LMP looks very fast, slicing its way through the GT3 traffic, even around the outside, making it stick. The number 75 Mercedes crosses the line, puts in a 151.1. Very fast time, purple time for them. Nice view of turn 1 here at Mugello. There's the Dimensia Porsche. They've got the lead car. Thunder Racing LMP gets help.
I believe they got turned there.
Yeah, I couldn't tell which GT team it was, but it was definitely a Porsche. And yeah, the Thunder Racing LMP, big shame for them. Already in P10 for class, but that's not going to help them too much. We need to see if we can get an ID on that Porsche that they collided with. Don't know if it was miscommunication or what. The Dacia LMP heads by, and we go on board with the Cristiano Ronaldo Porsche. There's going to be lap LMP2 traffic coming in. Oh, that's a nice overtake there. Oh, there might be contact. I was too focused on the LMP2 pass that the Cristiano Ronaldo Porsche almost got turned by the Lost in Pace McLaren. But Lost in Pace is going to pick up the position. They're 19th overall, the 42 McLaren is. And Cristiano Ronaldo's are going to try and take that position back. Here's the Arbaz Motorsport McLaren getting slowly caught up by the Cocorino Racing number 17. And I think they're going to make a move. Yeah, they're going to go side by side, and the Arbaz Motorsport car dives back ahead under brakes, according to the deltas here, and P17 still is belonging to the 88 McLaren. Here's the number 75 AMG. He might need to defend his... Oh, the Diamond Chef car down the inside keeps the understeer in check, but it's going to overall cost him the position. The AMG Team Foyer car stays ahead, and the Cocorino Racing Mercedes is off track. I don't think there would have been contact there, but the Lost in Pace McLaren coming right back at him. They are nose to tail, coming through the first few chicanes. And we just got, we've got incidents all over the place.
Just a note from Thunder Racing there. I believe they got helps around. It was their corner, but unfortunately the GT did back out. But without seeing the full replay, we have no idea.
I definitely saw a GT, and the number 69 Mercedes off again. Maybe damage. I don't think they hit the wall on that one unless they bounced back off of it. So of course it does do things like that, but they're still 22nd overall. I think the Thunder Racing car got helped around by the scuffed GP. I believe it was a Porsche, and my best guess would be the scuffed GP Porsche, but like you said, we can't tell until we see the full replay. And the Diamond Shaft Porsche takes an excursion to the gravel trap. They're going to lose the position to Arbaz Motorsport, and probably Cocorino Racing Lost in Pace. They're going to try to... Oh, they've got to wait for traffic. They're going to gun it on the sand, try to get some traction, but they're going to rejoin ahead of the 69 Mercedes and Mike Hawk Racing. Oh, that name. Here's the Speedo Racing Porsche. They have moved up from 28th to 27th. They're past the scuffed GP Porsche. I don't know if I don't think they've pitted yet. They're going to run it with damage. But a big gaggle of cars heading down the front straight. Most of them LMP2s. We got a few GTs flying into the background. Bearing Straight still leads from Peepo Racing by about 5 seconds, but Peepo Racing has brought the gap down a little. Dacia makes a pass on Lost in Pace there. Overall, we've had a lot of action here as we've got about 35 minutes left, and the Speedon LMP2 trying to find its way around the 75 Mercedes. Well, that could have ended very poorly there, but both drivers held their lines. Great driving there. But yeah, we move on to the number 39, Lynx Racing McLaren. Going side by side with Peepo Racing to the corner, holds the inside and stays ahead. I personally wouldn't be doing that to let the LMP2 by, but I'm not on track. That's their decision to make. Here's the Arbaz Motorsport 88 McLaren. Just running its own race. The Dacia LMP2 off track.
Looks like
he might lose.
Be overtaken by Team Alpha there.
Yeah, Team Alpha gets around him. I believe that'll be the only LMP2 that passes them there. Spending a long time on the dirt there, they did have space to get back onto the tarmac, but they elected to stay on the dirt there, be safe. But they lost quite a bit of time to the Team Alpha car. But, you know, there's 3.5 hours left, always time to bring that back. But here are the latest couple of spinners side by side on track. And the number 69 Mercedes is going to have to yield to the faster car. Well, if he was even there, I didn't see the LMP2 on that last shot. Diamond Shaft Porsche. Probably should start thinking about the A&H Racing McLaren. And the Peepo Racing from P2. The LMP2 in second place goes way off track. Maybe a big lockup there? I don't know. It looks like it's... I don't know where that is on track, if you could bring me up to speed on that. But the Peepo Racing car from second to fourth.
I believe that was Arbaz, so they may have gone off trying to pass a GT there, or just unlikely error maybe from the driver.
Do you think maybe there was a bit of oversteer and an overcorrection because that car went off track with some speed?
That car, however, it did go off with speed, but it also went off in a straight line, so it could be trying to pass a GT maybe.
Maybe just got the braking a little wrong and had to bail out of the move, but at any rate, they're now down 2.3 on SDR, the number 82 car, and they're going to have some ground to make up. They definitely have the pace to do it, but it's just going to make it that much harder. And the Lost in Pace McLaren off track considerably, heading downhill on the grass. Back on track, he's off the racing line. Good rejoin there. As the Porsches fan out behind him, he's got some damage to the nose of that McLaren. Might want to take a gander at it and see if it's worth fixing. Here's the number 69 Mercedes, looking to make a move on the 16 Porsche. And they are going to make that move on the 16 Porsche, and the Porsche gets them right back. The Mike Hawk Racing Mercedes, still down in 21st, but right next to the 16. The A&H Racing McLaren goes off track, nearly collects, I believe it was a lawnmower car. But I've just noticed we have our first DNF of the race. It's the Brum Brum Racing McLaren, unfortunately, have retired from this one. Great effort from them, but a shame to see him go within the first half hour.
Well, they could be doing a driver swap maybe, but it's unlikely.
Yeah, 30 minutes in, I'm not completely sure a driver swap be in order there. The Diamond Shaft Porsche, first car we've seen exiting the pit lane. Bit of a strategy call there, maybe fixing some damage, but a driver swap 30 minutes in is definitely unorthodox, but it looks like it is a driver swap. They're coming back out on track, so I was a little apprehensive there, but of course chat steered me in the right direction. The Brum Brum Racing McLaren is back on track, 28th in the field. And the Scuff GP Porsche passes the Speedo Racing Porsche. And the Mike Hawk number 69 passes the 31 Porsche for P19 overall. Get a look at them right after that. Their next target's going to be the Lost in Pace McLaren with a bit of nose damage. Speedo is going for a driver swap now. Well, it looks like the Brum Brum car is showing up as DNF'd again.
However, they are in the pits as well.
Yes, Die Manshaft had to do an emergency driver swap for a frozen computer. Definitely something you don't plan for, but it is a good thing that we have the driver swaps in order for that. Might mess up the timing of it all, but definitely good that they can keep going. They've had pace throughout the race so far. Here's the Scuff GP Porsche, just watching an LMP disappear off in front of it. But yeah, Speedo Racing is still in the middle of their first driver swap. They are currently 26th. They might lose some positions to Die Manshaft and Brum Brum Racing. By the way, the 11 McLaren is back on track. Get a look at that now, leaving the pit lane. And going into the wall. I think they have connection issues. Would you agree?
It certainly looks that way, as it didn't even last a lap until they DNF'd again, but they are back in the race, so it could be unplanned, but we shall see. It's a shame for them, because they were doing decent, but they still have... Oh.
Yeah, they're stopped on track with a little bit of side-to-side jittering, usually brought about by a poor connection to the server. You would have to wonder... Oh, that's a lot of damage onto the on the left side of that car. Yeah, it definitely seems like we're having connection issues to the Brum Brum 11 McLaren. Hopefully they can get that sorted out, but maybe that's what the driver swap was for, or maybe it's just not going to plan. But we will see. We will see, as we are a little over 30 minutes into this one. 3 hours 28:45 and counting left. As the Red Sun's car is passed, and the A&H Racing McLaren goes around half spin on track. Shouldn't be too costly. If he rejoins right. Yeah, he's not going to lose any positions on track. I believe that was the Die Manshaft car that passed them on track there, and the Team Alpha.
Team Alpha outbreak themselves going into that behind the GT.
Well held, I must say, and we've got another car off track. Believe it to be... I can't quite tell what it was,
but
the
Mercedes.
Okay, so we've got a white Mercedes off track, but well held from the Team Alpha driver there, keeping it on track, even sideways under brakes. And I'm going to leave it to Naughty for a little bit. I will be right back in about a couple minutes.
Half an hour into race, a little more crashes than I'd like to see, but overall it's good, clean racing and lots of chances to gain places and hopefully not go wrong for many people, but we shall see. Mike Hawk is right up the backside of Lost in Pace, and Cordy Racing just getting past. It's going to be a very close battle, as I know they're quite close in pace as well, so it should be good to see. Unfortunately, no really, apart from one battle to pick up from as Mike Hawk goes past, but unfortunately we can't see that on track, so you're just going to have to stick with me commentating and picture it in your head.